Hi, post editing Kelwa here. Wow, we're having a lot of posts today. But I just want to come here and clarify like a few things. One, this is a video that's specifically going to be focusing on Nintendo because that's what I want to focus on, particularly with this video, because when it comes to talking about being ungrateful and entitlement within this specific community, I think it's coming from a place that is not well meaning. Okay. That's why I want to speak about Nintendo specifically today. I'm sorry if you were expecting me to talk about other gaming companies. Unfortunately, I am not familiar, but I hear it from you guys. So if you guys have any other particular sentiments from like other companies and feeling as though people are entitled or aren't entitled per se, please let me know. I am not familiar. Second thing I want to clarify is I am aware that people can be entitled towards indie developers and small gaming companies and what they are able to put and produce into their games. I'm aware of that. I'm aware that some people hate just to hate and want every single thing and need catered to their particular skills and whatnot when it comes to video games. I'm aware. I'm aware of those kinds of things. That's not what we're focusing on today. I am focusing on big business, okay? The people who are able to afford to do all the things that they need to do for this game to be successful and choose not to and skimp you out of your money. That's what we're focusing on today, okay? So small indie developers, small businesses, sit down. This isn't about you, okay? I know you got your own set of struggles and I don't condone it in any kind of capacity, right? I get it. Okay. But we're talking about big businesses, people that can afford to do this, like Nintendo. So, with that being said, I just want to say this just so nobody gets their panties in a twist. Okay. Like I'm aware. I'm aware. Okay. We do believe in nuance, but yeah, you get me. So with that being said, roll the clip. You want to be the introduction for today's video? What you got to say? Let them know what you got to say. Manuel. Oh! No! No! Okay. Well, that was gross. Hi, my name's Cuddlewatt, and you, yes, you gamer geek looking nerd, okay? You need to be grateful to the people that produce your games. Hey, how you doing? Welcome back to the series where I talk about whatever is on my mind today because I have a big mouth. I like to yap about things with no particular end goal other than to start discussion. And today's a video I wasn't planning on making, but I got a comment that started jogging my mind and I was like, huh. We're going to talk about a certain type of sentiment that goes around when gamers decide to speak out about the issues that they have with their games and the direction that a company is going towards, and not being particularly happy with maybe an update, maybe the release of a game, maybe the way things run, yada, 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 whatever it may be. There's a common sentiment that comes around, and there's always somebody that has to disagree. And what do they call you? Ungrateful. How dare you? How dare you sit there and say that you dislike anything that is going on with this particular game? Oh my gosh, you are so ungrateful. How do you operate in the world? How do you operate in the world being so ungrateful and so hateful and just not liking the thing that you don't like and stuff like that? That's so terrible. Yada, yada, yada. We're going to be discussing that today. So if you didn't know, one of my last videos was a thoughtful-minded rant on the Animal Crossing New Horizons update that is set to come out in January of 2026. And basically it was a well thought out little think piece on why I don't particularly like Animal Crossing New Horizons, why I think it's a glorified decorating simulator, because that's what it is. And why I think that this update was lackluster and is not giving and probably should have been in the base game to begin with. I got some really good reception from it. It's been really cool reading your comments about how you guys feel about Animal Crossing, and thank God I'm not the only one who feels like Animal Crossing is going into that direction and whatnot else. So it's really validating reading those comments, and it's made me super happy. And I was very passionate with making this video, in particular because Animal Crossing is my game. That's been my Shayla for so long. Like, I've loved that game, and to see it go the direction that it's going, my negativity and my anger towards the direction of the series is not coming out of left field or whatever. Like, this has been built up over time, right? So put a lot of time and thought into that video. May not have the right words to say or whatever most of the time, but that's it was what's on my heart, and I decided to rant about what's on my heart. And everybody was very nice, respectful, and obviously you got some people who disagree, who very much like the decorating simulator. And if that's you, Bookie. That's great. Great.
that's great. But obviously you got those people who disagree, you know, those people who aren't particularly a fan of what I gotta say. And to that I kind of say, I'm like, and they're like, oh, like I just don't, I don't agree. It's one thing to like not agree, but like it's another thing to go on a rant video and then complain when people rant. I'm like, it's one thing to click on a video and be like, how dare you rant? Like, did you read the title of the video? Like, what did you expect? Complain? Like, I was bound to complain. We complain on this channel, and we're unabashedly proud about it. So that was a little odd choice, but you know, I entertain it. I let it slide. But one of the common sentiments that I typically get on my videos, particularly critiquing Nintendo, okay, and I feel like I have a fair amount of critique for Nintendo. I feel like it's coming from a well-justified place. Why? Because I grew up with Nintendo consoles. That's all I had growing up, okay? It's not like I'm a PlayStation player and I came over to the Nintendo sphere and I was like, ugh, you guys, why do you guys defend like everything that Nintendo does and stuff like that? Like, it's not like I'm coming from there. It's not like I'm coming from Xbox. It's not like I'm coming from PC gaming. I grew up with Nintendo games. I critique it because that was majority of what I played. Okay, and what I own. That is just straight up, that's just what I owned, right? So it's always interesting when I talk about Nintendo in particular, and I'm not saying it doesn't happen with other companies, but when I talk about Nintendo in particular, it seems to strike a chord with the people who are very, I'm assuming, nostalgia tied to this franchise and are happy with whatever they put out, no matter what. There's going to be the diehard fans. But there's this particular sentiment that I don't like.
It's this, and I'm going to be reading this comment directly because I can't remember exactly what they said, other than the fact that twice in the same paragraph they called me so ungrateful. So I'll be reading that directly now. So it starts off like this. I can't believe this is serious. This is so insanely ungrateful. Don't like it? Don't play it. We weren't even supposed to get another update. We were just going to get another $90 game. If you're seriously expecting more, then what the hell? You are so ungrateful, you nasty little shit. They didn't add that last part. I just thought it was funny. I'm sorry. I'm going to obviously blur this person's username because at the end of the day, even they said it, it's their opinion. Okay, I'm not worried about it or anything. I get these kinds of comments all the time on complaint videos, which is ironic. But, you know, it's up to... It's their opinion. I can't change that. Nothing nobody's going to say is going to change that, right? But comments like these remind me that Nintendo has like a really big like nostalgia chokehold on some of y'all. Like almost so to the point where you guys can't even recognize the difference between like you defending a company and a dear friend. Nintendo has made you guys so comfortable and, you know, made so many games that have like an attachment to your heart. Pikmin, Zelda, Mario, you name it, right? It has like such a chokehold on you guys that you guys can't like imagine a world in which you don't like something that they produce and you feel the need to like defend it with your heart and your soul. And you feel like you can't exist in a world in which you can like their games and not like the company. You can like a certain franchise and not like an update that has come out from it. You can buy something from a business and critique the product. I just thought I want to put this in here to clarify just so my words don't get twisted, okay? I'm talking about like a regular consumer, right? A consumer who buys a said product that, you know, maybe they know too much about the product, but they know it's their favorite game franchise and then buys it and then critiques it, right? Okay, I'm talking about that, okay? This is not this, don't twist my words. This is not the little excuse that the little influencers got to come and be like, hey, but didn't you make a video saying that, like, you know, influencers can't do their job and, like, you know, just buy the Switch too? No, you knew it was bad and you're profiting off of the fact that you knew it was bad and yet still buying it anyway and then influencing your little community and trying to pretend like you care about your community. No, all right? You don't get a pass. Revert back, okay? Lean back. All right, no. Okay, that wasn't an excuse for you. I don't know, like, I know what it is. Again, it's nostalgia. I always say I don't know what it is, but it is nostalgia. Nintendo has had such a hold on some of you guys' like mental that if you guys say anything bad about them or say that you don't like something that they produced, suddenly it switches your brain to think that any person who complains about something, even if it's minuscule, even if it's something very tiny, that somehow it's invalid, defend Nintendo and be like, but you're wrong though. But it's invalid. But you're complaining about nothing. But just take it and be grateful. I just want to remind everybody, that's a normal thing, okay? Critiquing a product that you don't like is a normal thing, okay? I'm here to remind Nintendo fans, not even remind them, just tell them straight up and hurt their feelings, okay? It is a normal, healthy process as a customer, as a consumer, to complain about the products that you have bought and the products that are to come out and the products that haven't hit the shelves. It is a normal, healthy thing to do. Nintendo has such a heavy chokehold on y'all that it's made you lose consciousness and develop Stockholm syndrome and forget, I have free will and I don't have to agree with everything that this company does. And it doesn't make me ungrateful. All right. I don't know when we started assigning human traits, the human trait of being ungrateful for something, you know, maybe something social, like a family, like being ungrateful to a family member, or to things that you have in your life, like your home, food, a warm bed to sleep on. I don't know when we started assigning like human traits of being ungrateful for very like practical things to a billion-dollar corporation. Okay, I'm of the opinion, and again, obviously the person didn't have to agree, and you don't have to agree even if you're watching this video, but I don't think you can be ungrateful to a billion-dollar company. But what I think this sentiment comes down to is it's tied in two ways. It's nostalgia, it's the need to defend the motherland, the homeland. But I also think it is a matter of people thinking like, if you don't like something, you are saying that the developers who have made this game, all the work that they put in, is pure shit, right? I think some people kind of confuse it. Maybe I don't know. Maybe some people some people are just gonna think I'm ungrateful. But I think some people maybe tie it a little bit to the developers who work really hard on these kinds of games, you know, and think if you don't like it and you're complaining about it, holy shit, you hate the developers. You don't like the work that they produce. You don't like anything about it. And to that I say, you're wrong. Like, you're pish posh, you're wrong, right? Okay, because at the end of the day, the developers do whatever they're told, right, to get their bag. They're like you and me, okay? They sit in their homes, you know, they do whatever they need to do in their personal lives. They drive to work and they get the work done, and then they clock out and then they go back to their families, right? They're like you and me. Okay, so you're talking to your average man here. It's their job. They have to, right? They gotta make these games or they don't get paid. That's kind of how this works, right? And ultimately, at the end of the day, they don't have any type of creative liberty. They're just told to do whatever Nintendo wants or whatever the designer wants, whatever. Okay, they don't get any liberty over that. So I feel like this sentiment of, oh, if you're ungrateful for this product that's coming out, oh, you're actually just dissing on the developer's work and whatnot else. They don't get a choice in what they could add and what they couldn't. Okay, they don't get a choice in any of those kinds of things. Like it's their job. Otherwise, they don't get paid. So I feel like, again, we're mixing up criticizing the company and the direction that the company wants this franchise to go and the developers' work, and I feel like we're mixing it up a little bit. I feel like the anger is a little bit misdirected. Okay, so what you should be getting mad at is the company and what they're deciding to do, right? Not the people who are actually working. Like, they do their job, and clearly they made a great game. I'm not mad at it. I'll still play Animal Crossing. I'll still pick up my DS. I will still play New Horizons, okay? I just won't play it online, but I still play New Horizons. That doesn't mean I don't like their work or I'm ungrateful for all the hard work that they've put into their games. It means I just don't like the direction the series is going. Like, it means I deserve more content for my money. Okay? That's all that means. It's not me getting like, oh, I hate what they're doing. Oh my gosh, like, they're just not doing what I want them to do, and how dare I? And like, I mean, like, the way that people frame this argument is like you are a ungrateful child on Christmas morning. Instead of getting, I don't know, like Hot Wheels Battle Force 5, you got a Fisher Price toy, right? You're acting like I'm a child kind of like on Christmas, when that's not the same thing, right? A child getting upset on Christmas and being ungrateful for the toy that they did, that, you know, they didn't want or whatever. That's not the same thing as a consumer and a business relationship, right? We're assigning like human properties. I'm ungrateful, human social things, confusing it with an entity and the person who buys from said entity. I feel like sometimes people get that a little bit confused of like, oh, like if you're so ungrateful if you don't appreciate any of the work that these developers have put into this. No, my beef is not with the people that are being told to do what they're supposed to do, right? That's not my beef. Clearly they make good products and stuff like that. It's the creative direction that I'm not liking. Okay? All right. So I feel like that's one confusion out the way. Let's get on to the next one. The next thing I want to get into is this blurring of the lines of a relationship between, you know, Nintendo fans and the big entity that they worship, which is Nintendo itself, right? The blurring of the lines between the relationship of consumer, customer, and big business, right? Small businesses, sit down. We're not talking about you today. But big business, big corporations, right? Nintendo fans really have like a mindset of there's a certain way, if you do want to discuss what's going on with Nintendo, there's a certain way you have to do it. And any other way that diverts from it, other than like your regular Nintendo fan reaction, is bad. Okay, that's bad. How dare you? They will deem it toxic. They will deem it ungrateful. They will deem it you are complaining too much. How dare you, right? When in reality, this is, again, like I said before in the other clip, a normal thing to do. Okay, let me take this for example, right? Your mattress, right? A lot of people don't play with the way that they sleep, okay? You want a good mattress that's gonna, you know, like stretch your back out, make you feel refreshed in the morning, yawn, yeah, right. There's a bunch of mattress firms and stuff like that or whatever that are on the market that you can buy from. Okay, trust Sleepy's for the rest of your life, okay? Like, let's use them for example, right? If you got a shitty ass mattress from Sleepy's, okay? Are you going to give Sleepy's the benefit of the doubt and say, but you know, you guys just don't appreciate this bed the way that like other people are appreciating this bed. You know, I think it's a good bed. You guys need to stop complaining about this new and improved mattress that has came out. And like, you know, how dare you? Or are you gonna do B? You're gonna go rag for your money. You're gonna complain, write the Amazon review, whatever you gotta do, right? Okay. In this capitalistic society that we live in, that we all have to participate in, unfortunately. Are you gonna A, defend Sleepy's, or B, defend the fact that you want to have a better sleep? Because I guarantee you, most people aren't probably gonna think about Sleepy's and like, you know, sleeping for the rest of their life. Like, they're not gonna sit there and like have that nostalgia tie and be like, oh, but I'll give Sleepy's the benefit of the doubt, and you know, maybe I'm just being ungrateful for the bed. For a bed? For a bed, for practicality? Okay, and I feel like you need to act the same way with your entertainment. Okay, movie reviewers don't even do this. Do you hear the movie reviewers on Rotten Tomatoes going, you guys are so ungrateful for this movie. All these directors put in such good work and stuff like that. No, they don't do that. You know what they do? They're like, why the fudge did I pay $15.25 and buy my $25 popcorn and my $8 candy to go sit down and watch Booty Cheeks? Okay, that's what they do, right? Because that is a normal consumer and business relationship. That's how this works. And video games I don't think are any different, okay? I truly don't, or at least I try not to think of it any differently, okay? And again, just to reaffirm, doesn't mean I'm ungrateful to, you know, the developers that have made the game and put on all their blood, sweat, and tears. They're just doing their job. They do their job. They get paid to do this. They'll be fine. They'll be all right if they see a little bit of a critique. And I also need to point out that sometimes game directions and game design and certain ideas for a story, sometimes they don't work out. Sometimes they're bad. And you don't need to be grateful for whatever they're putting out. Okay? It's just how this works. I want to remind you guys that Nintendo, it's a transactional relationship, okay? It's transactional. They won't lose hair, they won't lose sleep at night because little old me said I didn't like the Animal Crossing 2.0 update or whatever the frick update that is. That feel like less than 2.0 and negative 2.0, whatever it is. Okay, imaginary numbers at this point. Like, okay, they don't really care about that. And if anything, what I'm doing is a healthy thing to do because I've spent money on this. You've spent money on games, okay? You deserve to get the most out of it, all right? So I think we need to separate the nostalgia tie. We need to chop it, okay? Chop the string, like Tanjiro, chop, okay? I think we need to make that separation and realize, hey, they get my money this way. They tie my nostalgia to things and they get my money this way. So I buy and defend whatever that they put out, and everybody else looks ungrateful and yada yada yada. No, actually everyone's just being a regular human being, a regular person. It's not toxic. It doesn't make you any less of a fan. Whoever's telling you that, tell them if they would act the same way about the person that provides their paycheck or a mattress or something practical in their life. Even if it's entertainment, like I said, I gave the example of movies, okay? All right? I don't want to go pay $20 to see Dookie. And I damn sure hope you wouldn't pay $90 plus to play Dookie. And then try to play, oh, but Papa said that the game was good. No, okay. Reevaluate your relationship. Transactional. So that's complaint number 2 out the way. Another opinion that I see with these kinds of complaint videos on video games and whatnot else with Nintendo is this little bit of a sentiment that's like, oh, you're killing the hype. Oh, how could you? You're being so negative about this. Why are you being so negative? Why are you looking at all the negatives of things? And how could you do this? How could you ruin the hype for everybody else? And just because you're not excited about it doesn't mean everybody else doesn't have to be excited about it, and yada yada. The victim mentality is crazy, okay? The victim mentality of like, oh, I just wanna have my brain rot. I just wanna have my brain rot switch too. I want my game. I want my update. And you can't take it away from me, yada yada yada. Girl, but shut up. Stand up. Girl, shut up. Like, come on. Let's be real, okay? You will live, okay? It's like how I like to say the whole, like, you won't die of FOMO thing, right? You won't die of FOMO by not buying something, okay? It's not like an illness or a sickness, like, struck you dead, okay? No, it's not anything like that. And I say the same thing with the people who are like, you're being so negative and you're killing the hype for something. Oh, how could you do this? You're not gonna die, okay? There's a bunch of people who are negative about a bunch of shit in life, okay? And do you know what you keep doing? You keep living. Do you know what you keep doing? You keep going on with your day. Do you know what the world keeps doing? Ignore that. Turning, okay? The world keeps spinning. The world keeps moving. Even when people complain and are super negative, okay? Oh, you're being so negative. You're being so negative. Weren't you just on a gossip chat with a bunch of people trying to hear the tea? Yeah, okay. So negativity is a good when it's benefiting you, but it's not good when it's something you're like, okay, girl, shut up. Goodbye. So I don't know how to even entertain that one, that whole like, oh, you're just being so negative. Like you'll live, you're fine. Like, and even if I am, so what are you gonna do about it? Are you gonna arrest me?
Are you gonna give me a ticket?
Like, what are you gonna do about it if I am being negative? And so what if I am being negative? I don't see how that's affecting you. Like, it's very odd. It's very weird. And again, with the whole victim mentality of like, oh, I just want to like my game, and people are getting upset that I like my game. Nobody's upset that you want to play the update or whatever in Animal Crossing, or you wanted to buy the Switch 2, whatever your little heart desires or your heart is set on, okay? Nobody's upset about that. We're trying to tell you the obvious. We're trying to tell you this is a cash grab. We're trying to tell you, maybe there's better options out there. Maybe you shouldn't be spending $500 on a console when there's a recession going on. Maybe that's a little bit too egregious. Okay, maybe we're saying that's a little bit too egregious. And you're over here sitting here saying, oh, how could you? You're critiquing the thing that I like. How could you do this? How could you do this to me? It's like you're stabbing me in the heart. I don't hold as much weight to this argument of like, oh, you're killing the hype. You don't like it. Like, oh my gosh, like it's not a problem. Like, I'm not a bad person because I like the Switch 2. Girl, nobody said that. but we are saying you're a little bit foolish. Like nobody said, we are saying you got a little bit too much of a nostalgia tie to something to be spending money like that. Okay, like I think it's okay. All right, you will live. Everyone's so jealous of me because I have the Switch too. Girl, let me tell you something. The whole victim mentality of, oh, boycott, oh, the Switch 2, oh, you complain about the Switch 2, oh, stop telling me I shouldn't buy the Switch 2. The reason I find thumbnails like that to be extremely irritating is because you reap the benefits of the complaints of other consumers, okay? You as the customer, like you are, like all of us, okay? You're not you being a Nintendo super fan changes nothing, okay? You reap the benefits of what other people complain about, okay? Let me remind you that your Joy-Cons would have stayed duds and kept drifting had somebody else not decided to pick their feet up and walk over to a lawyer's office and file a lawsuit. Because it's Nintendo's responsibility to make sure that those cons work when they are out of the box. Okay? Anti-consumerist practice. When somebody says they are boycotting something, not gonna buy whatever they choose to do, you as the consumer directly benefit from those things. And for you to sit there and scoff and side-eye people and be like, oh, boycott, oh. May I remind you that you reap these benefits. You reap benefits from, you're fighting against your own best interests, okay? You don't benefit from fighting against your own interests. You don't benefit from a free pack-in eventually being $10 down the road. You don't benefit from that. It's anti-consumer. It's anti-you. And the sooner that you freaking chop this nostalgia tie that you have to this company and buying every single product, the sooner you will start to realize how they are robbing your pockets at broad daylight. That brings me to my last point, which is when people say things like, oh, but you complaining about something is not going to do anything. Like you making like a 10-minute, 20-minute rant video about like how much you hate this game or you don't like this update and stuff like that. That's not going to change the world. It's not revolutionary. Like what is that going to do and stuff like that? You might as well just play it. You might as well just, like get something out of it or whatever. Like, again, be grateful, yada, 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 stuff like that, right? And well, I'm not going to sit here and act like I'm doing anything like revolutionary. In fact, I think, like a lot of kind of things that we complain about on the internet just end up getting into echo chambers and not going anywhere or turning into any kind of movement and stuff like that. So while I'm not going to sit here and pretend like I'm doing anything revolutionary, at the end of the day, I'm just a girl who talks in a room, okay? I'm not going to sit there and act like, I'm making some type of movement or starting some type of revolution or something. I'm not going to sit there and act like I'm Malcolm X, okay? But what I will say is you are also underestimating the power of the internet, okay? I will say that you're underestimating how much power you have as a consumer and how much your dollar value actually holds to these corporations, and then also what the power of social media and the internet does, okay? I don't want to hear shit about things can't change and how can you do this and stuff like that. Like how can anything change by just like 10-minute complaint video when Shrek 2 is now delayed because everybody could have guessed the plot. I don't want to hear anything about like, oh, how can you complain about these things and stuff like that. Nothing's gonna actually come of it. Like you complaining does nothing for society and stuff like that. When the Sonic movie got a whole revamp design, Sonic himself got a whole revamp because people didn't like the way that he looked and said it on social media 1,000 times over, and they decided to listen. Okay, I'm not trying to hear all that. Okay, what do? They shift their image. Okay, because they control the dollar. That's their vacation home. You're their vacation home, okay? They're gonna cater towards their audience. They're gonna do things. And while at the end of the day, the grand scheme of things, the company is not gonna change its structure, and, capitalism's gonna keep capitalisming, and money's gonna keep going through, and as long as you're a dollar sign, they don't really care. They have to care to an extent, okay? They have to care to a tiny little extent. When MGA comes out with a new Bratz doll collection collab with Hello Kitty and Sanrio, and then you don't include the one black girl that makes the 3 other girls complete, and then people complain about it on social media and start calling you anti-black, what do? They give you a doll later, okay? All right? I'm just letting you know that these kinds of things, consumer boycotts and stuff like that, do work. Okay, I'm letting you know they do work. I'm letting you know that complaining, while not a revolution, while not, you know, saying too much and stuff like that, it starts discussion like we do on this channel. It starts something. Ranting starts something. It does something. Okay, they care about you, but they don't care about you that much. But they care enough to get your wallet. I just need you guys to remember the power that you have as a consumer at the end of the day. Trust me, if them sales aren't popping, they will make sure that you get everything that you want, okay? And to act like Nintendo has not done this before and act like consumers haven't had a brain before and not thinking that the 3DS price was initially worth it when it first got released and then had to do a price cut. I'm just saying. And that's pretty much all I have to say about it. Again, I don't condone harassment of any kind. Again, that person, they made their mind up. They're not going to change it. Nobody says to them is going to change that shit. But if they have the right to have an opinion, I have a right to respond to that opinion. So that's what I'm doing in this video. And I'm not like, I hope this doesn't give the impression that I'm salty. I just found it funny. And I didn't think I'd have this much to talk about in this video, to be honest with you. I thought I was like, is this worth making a video about? Because this has been a thought in the back of my brain to talk about, like, being grateful towards $1 billion company. Girl, that don't exist here on this channel. What are you talking about? I will never do that. That's like me asking me to be grateful to, like, I don't know, like, again, sleepies but thank you for providing this very uncomfortable mattress. What do I look like? Hell no. That will be the end of this video, end of this rant. My name is Cuddle. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know what you think about it. Did you like it? Did you not? Okay, just be nice about it. Okay. Tell someone you love them today, because tomorrow is not promised to us. And I will see you guys in the next one, which is maybe room tour, maybe sort of kind of. Sorry, I don't know what to say about it. But anyways, that'll be it. Bye.